Hey, hello, peeps. I want to talk about thoughts. Our thoughts. I know this is a deep subject, topic, because it's renownedly known that thoughts create things. That's been agreed on every level spiritually by any adepts, shaman, guru, you know, in my research anyway. So we know our thoughts create. And we can see that, can't we? We get a picture in our mind, in our imagination. And then we maybe put that onto paper or on a computer, maybe make a blueprint before we bring that into this physical reality. That's like the masterpiece, from the mind to the material. It's kind of great. But how well do we know our thoughts? Because if they are creating things, our thoughts, we need to know them. That's what my reflection time has been personally. You helping others. What are you thinking about really? Where was your old thoughts at even? You might check in on self and realise that you was, say, thinking about more material-fied things which are not serving you now in this time. Maybe you've got 2 cars sitting outside your house which you can't use. I'm just using that as a poor example, but there's probably a lot of things in your reality now you're not using. You could live without. So really there was a want, there weren't a need. So knowing our thoughts, we can know ourselves better. And I think that's what the journey is about really, knowing self. We ain't got to focus on our faults. We've all got faults. That's a misdemeanor. They're not the faults I'm talking about. They don't create worthiness. Knowing your own faults, you can create your own worthiness and have a higher vibration, And then for me, you won't be penetrated with any fear like that because you embody fear. We were born without fear. And we embodied it over there in our upbringing. Everyone did. There's no one here on this planet who didn't embody the fear. We're taught fear, for our faults. Then we embodied that fear, and you learn to let go of fear, and then you're free. Your mind is free. You're on a higher polarity, higher pole. Because you're not with the body, you're with the mind. That's where the thoughts are. It's like getting out of the material realm into the ethereal realm within yourself. So you got one foot in each. Because we're here, we've got to take part. So if we know our thoughts more and where we're putting them, because that's where our energy goes. Our thoughts will create the energy and maybe the motivation. And motivation can come out of things you don't like doing. We've got to know our thoughts. If we don't like, let's say, cutting the grass in the garden, you don't like doing that, go out there and do it. Because that will create motivation. You will feel great after that. So it's not always about looking for things that, you're going to like doing. That's why we use our thoughts and go towards things like, okay, let's do that, which I may dislike, but I will get some good out of it. That's alchemizing. Then we'll learn that you can turn something you don't like into something likable, if you will. And that's power of the thought can do that. You can do that for others then. You won't point out their faults in that way, you'll point out the other faults. You know what I mean? Because that's how to see things really. And like this. Are you doing that really? You asking the questions, or you asking for answers? Because when you ask questions, you're on a quest. You want to know. You want a quest to know. And that's what it's about really. So we're all seeking to know thyself, know this realm, know our purpose, know where we're going. Maybe we won't find these answers. But it would be great knowing ourselves. You know, we don't need no one then to tell us what we're about because we know. Therefore, we don't need to tell them because we respect the fact that you don't need to be told, so they don't need to be told. But if someone asks you the question, then you can give them the answer. So that's how I see things with consciousness. You know, as consciousness expands within self, consciousness changes things. We know this with the experiments. They've proven that consciousness changes things. So you raise your consciousness, inevitably you will change. So if you're changing, then you're raising consciousness. You know, that's how I see things. So if you want to know whether you are knowing your thoughts, you will be consciously more aware of them. So then, therefore, before you speak, maybe words leave your lips, you will sort of hear them before you let them go. You know, it's like that. You know, you don't let your mouth run away with you and then have to go and reflect on your thoughts or reflect on what you said and then think about another way you could have said it better. You know, you'll be in the moment with your thoughts, then you will almost hear yourself speak before you speak. So then you can refrain, you can hold back. You know, you don't have to enter. And really, that's like a shield mechanism. You know, you've got your shield up, you've got your power, you're in your power. You know, so really, I just thought in this time, we're all sitting there, we're all thinking, we're contemplating. And I can only guess what you're contemplating, but I'm saying it like look at self, reflect on it at the end of the day, even before you go to sleep. Reflect on your thoughts. What have you been thinking about throughout the day? Then once you get to know these thoughts, are you putting them into action? You know, if you're thinking about writing something and you've got it all in your mind, are you actually putting it on the paper now? You know, it's like that sort of reflection on your thoughts, whether you're manifesting them, even in your reality with the people. If their like-mindedness is there, then yes, you're manifesting like-mindedness with others. You know, if they're not on your wavelength, if you will, they're on a different vibration, you know, a different thought pattern. It's all like algorithms. Our thoughts are like in a rhythm, an algorithm. You know, when you start rhyming things, you know you're on that other rhythm. You know, it's like an alternating current. And it goes around like in a circle, back on itself. And the key to knowing is like synchronicities, and that's like rhyming. You see things looking the same, you know, 3 times even. That's the pattern you will see anyway. That's just a little insight there coming from me. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I see things. I thought I'd share that bit extra with you. See, I just let it flow. And now I know I'm done because my flow stopped. So as always, I've shared my thoughts with you. Feel free to share them back. I don't claim to know anything. I'm just trying to know thyself. So as always, I am 1111 code, and I love you all. Have a beautiful day, week, month, anything.